Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Sherry. For those of you who are not new, thank you for coming back and viewing my videos. I definitely appreciate it. I would appreciate it if you all would definitely subscribe to my channel. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers, and when I get to 2,000 subscribers, I am planning on doing a giveaway. So help me get to 2,000 so I could go ahead and do this giveaway. But without further ado, let me get right into this video. Welcome back you guys. So I was watching Autumn Beckman's video, and she had a couple of different topics in this video, and one of the topics was on compromise bags. And so when we think of a compromise bag, it's something that you kind of bought in place of something else, but you really didn't want that bag. And so I classified compromise bags into 3 different categories. So, and I'm going to read from my notes so that I can kind of make sure I hit all the points that I wanted to make for this video. But the first one is an actual compromise bag. And what that means is that your degree of satisfaction for this bag is less than what you would have wanted had you got the original bag that you wanted from whatever brand it is. So sometimes you will buy like a Coach bag to substitute for a Louis Vuitton bag or whatever other brand it is. It doesn't really matter what the brand is, but that is kind of like a compromise bag. You'll buy something in place of that bag. Now that also falls into the category of a substitution bag. But when you look at a substitution bag, it's kind of your degree of satisfaction is equal to the substitute bag as it is to the brand of the other choice that you wanted to get. So for example, you're kind of 50-50 on you can have a substitute or you'd rather have the other brand. So you're kind of equal with those options, versus with the compromise, you'd really rather have the other brand, but you take a substitution option in place of that brand. And your third option is just a straight substitution where you're kind of like, nah, I'm not paying that price for that, or somehow it turns out to be not worth it for whatever factor. Maybe it's a price, maybe it's a material, whatever the case may be. You just deem that you're more satisfied with a substitution option than the original one that you looked at. And we'll kind of go through all these categories today. So I have a couple of bags that I have actually had all 3 of these happen within. So I'm going to show you what happened when I got the compromise and when I decided, nope, I'm going to go ahead and go for the one that I really ultimately love. So I'm going to start with my Vanity PM, okay? I've shown this bag in a couple of videos, and I'm actually using this bag right now. This is my favorite Louis Vuitton bag that I have in my collection. Hands down, I love this bag. Now, before I got this bag, I had actually bought a Coach trail bag, and I'll have to put pictures of that bag in this video because I no longer own it. I bought that bag. I had that bag for 2 months. And you guys, I just could not get this bag out of my head because there was something a little bit more special about this combination with the reverse monogram and the monogram, the feet. Just something about this bag just really captured my heart. It gave me butterflies. And when I got the trail bag, I was kind of okay with it for about a month. But ultimately, I knew that the degree of satisfaction for that bag was way less than what I really wanted it to be. Like, ultimately, I knew I would end up going this route and just getting the one that I love. So I ended up buying this bag, and I actually shared that in the video when I did the unboxing of this. I ended up buying this bag, and I sold that bag on to someone else, brand new. I never unwrapped it, never did anything to the bag, so I was able to sell that bag and get all my money back out of that bag. I wasn't trying to make a profit from it or anything. I just wanted to get rid of it because I knew ultimately this was the bag that I wanted. So in that case where I did compromise, my degree of satisfaction for that bag was not to a point to where I would ultimately be happy and there would be a regret level if I did not buy this one. And I'm so glad that I did because I do not regret it at all. So that's when it comes to like what your compromise is, okay? So now we have a substitution slash compromise. And in this case, you have, well, so let me go back real quick to a compromise. A compromise is where the bag is available, but you opt not to buy the bag and then you get a substitute. So that's kind of where it would fall into with a compromise. In the case of a substitution slash compromise, it's kind of where the bag was available, but you waited too late to get the bag and now it's not available. So you buy a substitute in place of that bag because you missed out on it. It was the one that got away. And so now there's a 50-50 where you're kind of like, okay, well, I missed out on it. It was my fault. I should have gotten it when it was available. I'm going to go ahead and get something else because I still want something to fill that void, okay? We all have done this with several bags, and depending on kind of when you get the bag and how you like it, you filter that bag out, okay? So here is, I'll show you my Coach Mini Rowan, Micro Rowan. It's called one of those two. This bag was in place of the Mini Speedy HL. Now that bag wasn't available when I was, you know, trying to get it in a new condition. The only time I have seen it was like on a pre-loved market. And I've seen a lot of those on the pre-loved market in really good condition, but I was just like, I'm not going to pay that price for that bag when I can get something else in place of it. So it's kind of like it was available, but it wasn't available, and I was just like, I'd rather get something else that I would be happy with. And I ended up finding this on Coach website, and I have to say I've been completely happy. It was a 50-50 swap, and in this case it actually worked out. But there are some cases where that 50%, that equal or like for like is just not good enough, and you're still like, it's a great substitute, but I would really rather still have the other one. In some people's cases, this might not have been a great substitute, and they'll say, you know what, they have the new Nano Speedy available, which is about this size, and I would rather just have the Louis Vuitton version because I really want a Louis Vuitton in my collection, so I'm going to ditch this Coach one and go for that. I don't have a need for that because I do have the Nano Speedy that I did purchase, which I ended up buying that one after this one, but it wasn't like a compromise for me because I really had no plans on getting that bag. It just became available on the website, and so I bought it. But I'm still happy that I have this one because I have varying sizes in the Speedy bag, and so for me it was an equal compromise, and I was okay kind of how this worked out for me. So now let's get to the substitution where you're like, nah, I'm not paying that price for that item. And I have my mini pochette here. Now I got a feeling you'll see a lot of conversation just around Louis Vuitton price increases and are their items worth it. Different people will be sharing their opinion on their items. My opinion is buy what you want. Buy the one that makes your heart sing. Buy the one that gives you butterflies. Even at the new price of this bag, knowing what I know now and having bought that trail bag, I would still pay that $2,800 for this bag. I sure would, because I love this bag. And for me, it would be worth it to have that bag. But we're going to talk about this mini pochette. Because it's not a full-blown purse and you can't really, you can use it as a catch-all, but for me, I would rather have a purse than a catch-all. So a substitution option would be really good in this case. And I have this, which I actually bought this after I got my mini pochette, but I bought it for different reasons. But so it wasn't a substitute, but I'm using this as an example. This is the Coach Nolita 15 in the signature canvas print, so it has the CCs. And I'm comparing this to this mini pochette because it has the Louis Vuitton logo. So one has the Coach logo, one has the Louis Vuitton logo. In a lot of cases, I think the mini pochette is a great substitution where the degree of satisfaction for having this over the mini pochette would be so much greater, because this is $745 and Coach is running these about max $115. I got this for 40 bucks. You can look on their website right now. They vary from like $40 all the way up to like $115. So depending on when you catch the Coach sale is kind of where you'll fall in these. If you should purchase one like this, I think your degree of satisfaction for having the Coach item would be a lot greater for having the Louis Vuitton one. Now, with that being said, if you buy the Coach one and you still get it and you don't love it, it doesn't fall in that category. It definitely falls in a compromise category where you're like, you know what, this coach is nice, I saved a lot of money on it, but I still want this mini pochette even though it's $745. That's where it changes from a substitution to a compromise. And you know, you really don't love that piece. You really don't want to use that piece. You'd rather just sell it and put that money into this piece because you know you'll use it more. You'll get more satisfaction out of even looking at it. And sometimes, you guys, it doesn't even have to be satisfaction from actually wearing a piece. It could be satisfaction from just looking at it. And I know sometimes people may think that that's crazy, like, oh, I don't buy bags to put on my shelves. I don't buy bags to look at them. Some people really get satisfaction out of just looking at these pieces, you guys. And I hate when I see in a video where somebody knocks that down and makes that like a bad thing. I have a lot of Louis Vuitton bags that for me, I get the satisfaction out of just purely looking at them. They make me happy just to look at the bag. And I probably never even have to carry the bag. You know, eventually I will carry the bag, but sometimes it's just like that. It's not a factor of, oh, because you love it, you have to carry it. It may just be a nice piece that you want to look at, a showpiece, whatever the case you may deem it as, it just becomes that. Like the Scott box. That's not a purse, but a lot of people love it on their coffee tables. They like it as a decor piece. These bags can function as decor pieces. You see people using these as their background in different videos. People have a lot of their Louis Vuitton and their Birkin bags and different things in their background because they are decor pieces. They like to look at them and they want you to look at them as well. So they fall into that category. So I'm getting kind of off track, but I wanted to go over compromise bags and just ultimately, do they hurt you in the long run? Can they hurt you in the long run? Depending on how you feel about it, it's only gonna hurt you. If you know you really don't love that bag and you buy a substitute, it can cost you money, but at least you know, like, you know what, I tried out a substitute, it didn't work out, let me move it along, let me sell it. The risk in that is that you probably can't sell it, you probably can't get rid of it, nobody wants that bag, so it'll be really hard to sell. So it kind of becomes like wasted money. Pass it on to a family member, pass it on to a niece, pass it on to somebody who's graduating. That's how you pass that on. Gift it to somebody. You know, in a case where you get a substitute and you absolutely love the substitute over the other item, it works out good. That is my response to Autumn Beckman's video in terms of compromise bags. What do you all think about compromise bags? How do you feel about them? Do you have any bags in your collection where you're like, you know what, I just had to buy the compromise because I was not finna pay that money? Or do you have a compromise bag where you're like, you know what, I tried this, I bought it, I even had this compromise bag for years and I still don't love it, but I just kept it, but every time I look at it, I'm just like, ugh, why did I keep this bag? Why do I have it in my collection? Or did you find a nice substitute where you're like, you know what, I couldn't get that bag for whatever reason, but this one has really satisfied my needs to where I don't feel like I'm missing out and I could go either way, like an equal for equal, like for like. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. Again, please don't forget to subscribe so I can hit my 2,000 subscribers and do my giveaway. And I'll see you all in the next video. Alrighty, bye.